A line from Project Power has been resonating in my head that you said to Dominique. The system's been designed to swallow you whole. I thought that line was so great and so topical to where we are now, concerning things like Breonna Taylor and things like that. What does that line mean to you with the film coming out now?
Well, you know what? We didn't know that we would be faced with these incredible, challenging times when we did this movie 2 years ago. But, great minds, man, can feel things in the air. And so that line will be swallowed by the system. If anything, 2020 shows you is that our eyes are open. Our eyes are open to how the distribution of power and how it can be used in the worst way possible. It can really fracture, what we've built. What we've built a lot in this country, no matter what color you are, but especially with black folks. Black folks, man, I mean, we've been at this 400 years and grinding and really never asked for anything. Like all we ask for is decency. That's crazy that you ask for decency and someone is mad at you because you just ask for decency. So yeah, let those words sink in, and then not only let them sink in, but see the emergence of a young talent in Dominique Fishback, who's about to take over the world, and she will be standing on a stage at one point saying, "I'd like to thank the members, the Academy," da, 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 and there'll be that music. It'll be all that because she got it.
Absolutely. Well, Dominique, for you, what does it mean for you to be in a movie that's so much about black heroes really asserting their power and their individuality?
Yeah. I mean, I was just, regardless of the time that we are in now, when I first read the script, I immediately thought, oh, this is like my Dakota Fanning moment in Man on Fire with Denzel, or like Natalie Portman in The Professional. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot where young Black girls were those main characters, that this person was doing everything to save their lives. We didn't really get that. So for it to come out now in a way where not only is she being saved, she's also doing some saving herself. She's using her own ability, her own power. And then I also get to be saved not just by one person, but by two, and they happen to be Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So I'm on a cloud. I'm not even here. I'm some other where. I'm like Romeo. Romeo's some other. Sorry, I love Romeo and Juliet.
So Jamie, you might be playing Spawn coming up soon. There are other Black heroes out there. What sort of heroes have shaped you when you think about sort of superheroes or just Black heroes in general in your portrayals?
Well, I'll tell you this. Spawn is interesting because it's a Black superhero, and I actually flew a number of years ago and surprised Todd McFarlane and just walked up in his office and said, "Bro, I know one day you will do this movie, and I hope that you will keep me in mind." And so now, as we move further, now Jason Blum and Blumhouse and everything like that, have taken over, and it's going to be. I think what Black Panther did, first of all, let us know that it's so necessary and so time. It's the time, And Spawn is it's just an interesting character in itself. Just the amount of traffic that it gets, not having a movie done about it since the 80s almost. So the heads that are now being put together to bring you something special. So look out. So I'm looking very much forward to that and showing people something that's incredible.
Dominique, I think there's got to be a role in Spawn for you, right? You want to join Jamie in that again?
I would join Jamie anywhere. So just let me know. Just let me know.
There it is.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Not too bad, all things considered. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Power went out here in New York, but I'm getting by.
Really?
Yeah. Thanks for that storm earlier.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that.
Talking to you on my phone right now.
Right.
But it's great. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Yeah, absolutely. Project Power deals with a lot of timely issues, I think it's fair to say. And in your case, you're playing a police officer at a very interesting time. How do you sort of feel, how do you hope that people sort of take that role? And did you feel any trepidation about the movie coming out in the current climate?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right that there's a lot of discussion right now, and good, necessary discussion around the power that's given to the police and how responsible police should be and how police should be held accountable for that power. And this movie does portray a police officer who's, you know, not a perfect person and not following the rules perfectly, but ultimately I think he's coming from a good place. And I still like to think that most cops are coming from a good place, that most cops do want to be helpful. The problem is that there's too many examples of these tragic, brutal circumstances where they're just not being helpful at all, and they're not being held responsible for those actions. And you know, look, this isn't a movie that's exactly about that, but I think this movie does ask some important questions, like who has power in this world and in our society, and who doesn't have power, and is that fair, that dynamic of power? And you know, really, so much of these questions do come down to that power dynamic. And if we could all just be a little bit more on equal footing and have a more equal distribution of power, then maybe some of these brutal tragedies could be avoided.
Absolutely. Based on your experience, do you have any recommendations for how Hollywood could portray police going forward?
Oof. It's a really good question. And you know, I think for one thing, I wouldn't leave it entirely up to entertainers like me. There's, you know, I think there's some degree to which it's great and good that Hollywood just is pure entertainment, but I think there is some real evidence that harm can be done when entertainment is the only litmus test for what gets put in movies. But I also don't think that that's entirely the responsibility of Hollywood, because Hollywood's also just making stuff that people want to see. And, you know, if audiences go to see stuff, then Hollywood will keep making more of that stuff. And so, you know, there's these tropes build up of the heroic, brutally violent cop saving the day through brutal violence. And that's probably not the most helpful story to keep telling over and over again. I think probably a lot of times saving the day is something much more nuanced, or something much more mundane, or something that doesn't require a big spectacular fight or chase. But that might not sell as many movie tickets. So that's maybe, you know, not the movie maker's responsibility, or at least the movie makers share that responsibility with the movie watchers. And so I don't know, it's a really complicated question. It's a good one, and I won't claim to have the perfect answer.
Sure. No, that's a great answer. So speaking really quickly, speaking of moviegoers, you've worked with Christopher Nolan. He's trying to release Tenet. Do you hope people get to see it in theaters where he wants people to see it?
Of course. I mean, I can't wait to go back to movie theaters. I love watching movies in cinema. But I also, you know, me personally, I'm probably not going to go out to a movie theater anytime soon. And it's not because I'm not dying to see that movie. I am. I'm just, me and my family, we're playing it really, really safe. Do not want to get this virus. We don't know what the impacts of this virus is. Even if you survive it, it seems that there's evidence it could really mess you up for the rest of your life. So, you know, we really don't, we're not going to take any risks. That's how we're doing it. And I don't know what that means for movies and for cinema. I know that one day we'll get back to it. But it's probably, in my view, I'm not in a rush.
Project Power deals with a lot of really timely issues. And I thought in your case, it's interesting, you play kind of a drug dealer. And obviously we're dealing with the opioid epidemic here in America right now. Is that something that you drew on for the part?
I think that, you know, the part that I play, Biggie, you know, I try to never look at him just as a dealer. I think this guy is sort of like a visionary representative of this brand, of this product that he wants to sell all over the world. It has a touch of a megalomaniac, you know, personality. You know, really trying to take him to he was written like that, but also we discussed a lot. I talked to the directors about, how can we take him from, just the dealer and making him sort of like the face of this product and how he would sell and appeal to people. But the thing is, the most important thing that seemed to me of a salesman, especially to sell this kind of product, it's making you believe that you need it. It's usually what a salesman does. He makes you believe you need this. Your life is going to be better. You're going to grow. This is good for you. One of the approaches that I thought would be interesting is the inspiration where, when you see those talks that, people are so good at talking, they make you feel like there's only you in the room, nobody else exists. And sort of like a life coach does when he wants to try to help you to solve your problems. I have worked before with a person like that, and I remember it is a deep effect, and I wanted to bring some of that quality to this part as well. So, I mean, that's my take on this part.
Absolutely. Is it, considering the times we're in right now, are you proud to be in a movie that's about Black superheroes and Black men and women sort of claiming their identity and their power back?
Well, it's interesting because it couldn't be more, actual, like the time is perfect because the world is discussing that. I don't think that was, particularly planned to be that way. We have a great actor besides his color, which is Jamie and Dominic. But you totally right. Right now it's something so necessary, and we are openly talking about that finally. So it's great that we have those voices in the film, but also, I think also they're there for the talent and because they really do a great job in the movie, both of them. And Dominic especially, because we all know Jamie, for all his career, but Dominic is incredibly talented, singing, writing, and acting. So it's beautiful to see that flourish in front of your eyes and reveal itself in a great opportunity like that. And she's great in the film, and you have the opportunity. People will have the opportunity to see it, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. Really quickly, I want to ask you about Westworld season 3. You played a memorable part in that season. Are you happy with how the season went? Are you looking forward? Do you know if you'll be back for season 4?
I wish I could tell you. I can't tell you, Ethan. I can't tell you anything about that. What I can tell you is that I love working on the show. It has taught me so many things on my personal life. Questioning, about, I think it questioned itself. Human nature, technology, and again, it's another thing that it's so important right now. But season 4, I'm not sure when it's going to go, and I'm waiting to see what's going to happen.